If you're not paddling straight, it might not be your fault. One of the most common questions that comes up in paddleboard coaching is how to paddle in a straight line. And there's so much to say about it that I'm going to spread it across several videos. Today I want to talk about the external factors that can influence your paddling directionality, because the problem might not be your technique. Your board will always turn more if you're paddling into a strong wind or current. Normally it's pretty obvious if you're paddling into a strong wind, but not necessarily so obvious if you're paddling into a strong current. So if your board does seem particularly turny today, it might just be that the water underneath you is moving more than you thought. The easy way to check, of course, is just to turn around, paddle the other way, and see if your board turns less. If you change board, just remember that a wider board will always turn more than a narrower board. Likewise, a shorter board will always turn more than a longer board. Board design has a lot of influence on how board turns. Also, the number and size of fins. But if the problem is that the board always seems to want to turn one particular way, again, it could be down to your equipment. Check your fins. Are they straight? I once had a client who had a real problem with his board turning more one way than the other. We spent about an hour working on his technique and I couldn't find any problems, but only then did I turn the board over and look at the fins, and the fin was bent by about 30 degrees. Or the problem could be with the paddle. Here's a classic example. Looking down the paddle, the handle and the blade are very much out of alignment. Or it could be the board. The board could have twist in it. If you look down the board, you may well see that there's twist. This one doesn't have twist, but in my nearly 20 years of paddleboarding, I have encountered literally hundreds of boards, hard or inflatable, that actually have quite a degree of twist in them. And that is definitely going to make you turn more one way than the other. So if you do find your board turns a lot, before you assume it's your technique at fault, it's definitely worth just checking your equipment. It might be simply an equipment problem. And I'll be making some more videos about the other factors that can cause your board to turn.